Welcome back to the David Pakman Show.
Welcome to the bonus show. We have a story here about this pastor who is telling women that removing their undergarments is the best way to let Jesus freely enter them with his spirit. Not with his penis, with his spirit. What's the difference? Not really sure. This is a Kenyan pastor named Reverend Johi, or maybe Njohi. I'm not really sure, but it's spelled Njohi. And I guess he's kind of come under fire before for some other things, but he is the pastor of the Lord's Propeller Redemption Church. Propeller Redemption Church. I don't really know what that means either. Do you?
Well, Propeller Redemption, it's probably a church that has turned an old plane into their place of worship. I don't know.
Maybe. That'd be pretty cool. But anyway, according to reports, the female members of the congregation have done this. They've agreed with it. They came to worship without underwear. I think he only suggested this for the female members of the congregation, though, David. I guess I don't know. I guess Jesus doesn't want to enter men.
Or it must be that all of the men already have Jesus inside of them.
Maybe that is it. I'm not really sure. But it is amazing what you can accomplish as a pastor and what you can convince your people, your congregation of doing, right?
It is incredible. And this is even crazier than convincing them that they should give you a ton of money and they should live in poverty. And we talked about that on the last bonus show. Prosperity gospel is the term that I was looking for yesterday. A bunch of people emailed me saying, David, what you're talking about is the guys who preach that God wants them to be rich and wants everybody to be rich and have all these cars and houses and stuff. That's called the prosperity gospel. And so, yeah, that's what I was referring to yesterday. So thanks to everybody who let me know. In this case, it's a little bit different. It's not really a financial thing. It seems to be more of a sexual thing. Now, does the guy try to engage in sexual activity with these women, or it's just they need to show up with no undergarments?
I think they just need to show up with no undergarments. I think he leaves it at that until we hear otherwise.
Maybe it just is exciting to him to know that women are showing up with no undergarments, even though maybe he doesn't feel the need to take it any further.
I'm sure it is pretty exciting. I'm sure it adds some flavor to the worship sessions. Anyway, there it is. You know what? Maybe it's a good thing because there is a chance, as we heard from Pat Robertson, that those undergarments might be demonically possessed.
Better safe than sorry. Just take them off, and then it's one less thing to worry about as you walk around in your day.
Why wear any clothing? It could all be possessed. And who knows what can happen to you if your clothing's possessed. North Dakota. We have a story here from North Dakota. Now, I don't think we've really talked about the oil patch and what life is like over there. But I've heard a little bit about this, and I work with a guy who did some work over there. And you are truly in the middle of nowhere. And it is very desolate, very boring. There is not much around to cater to the workers in this area. I guess it just doesn't make sense for businesses to flock there, seeing as how all you really have is just a small number of oil workers. The money is quite good from what I hear. I've heard stories about guys who drive a truck 12 hours a day and are bringing home, $150,000 to $200,000 a year. So if you can deal with the isolation, I don't know. It seems worth it. But apparently things are getting so bad and boring and depressed in these areas that even the strippers are leaving. Strippers that can make up to $1,500 a night. And I guess it seems like if there is one type of business that could really flourish in a place like this, where you have mostly men working in an oil patch in the middle of nowhere, it'd be a strip club, right?
It would be a strip club or prostitution. And there's a new Vice piece about a truck stop area strip club in, I believe it's in New Mexico, and it's a similar type of situation where there's just almost nothing. One of the businesses that's in this town is one that sells clothing to the strippers for them to work at the strip club. These places truly sound absolutely horrible. I mean, when we think about, for people like us who have been mostly on the East Coast in either liberal East Coast towns and small cities or in large East Coast cities, urban areas, I can't imagine being in a place like that. I just really can't imagine. I've been in places that are not nearly as remote as North Dakota, but like in Maine or upstate New York or Vermont that are relatively remote. And it's kind of interesting, almost as like a complete alternate reality for a day or two. But I can't see myself being in places where, I mean, some of these places that I've actually been to, everything closes at 7 or 8 every day. There's really no downtowns or places for people to hang out. There's no anything, and I can't even imagine something that's that escalated exponentially in North Dakota. I mean, I can't imagine even being there for 48 hours,
Right. So, take that isolation, add the incredibly long work days, the lack of friends and family, the incredibly cold winters. And, there's got to be a trend of depression, probably alcohol abuse, and it's probably not a great place. So if anyone out in the audience has experience with life in the oil patch or in a similar place, let us know.
Yeah,
Apparently,
please write to us extensively and give us any of the details, like what you do, where you get your groceries, just everything, any of the minutia. I would definitely read that on the bonus show if we heard something like that.
Yeah, I think that would be interesting. A Saudi cleric has issued a new fatwa. David, this is serious business. Everyone needs to pay very close attention to this. This came out as a tweet from a Saudi cleric named Saleh Al-Fawzan.
Are tweets now the normal way to declare fatwas?
I don't know. I guess originally the statement was broadcast on a Saudi TV station, but there was a tweet that followed as well. I see here. The tweet was from Pakistan. I guess the Saudi big shots just issue these fatwas, and then it kind of spreads to everywhere else. But it is a fatwa against all-you-can-eat buffets. Yes. This is very serious business. Now,
Here's one I actually might agree with for once.
The value and quantity of the food sold should be predetermined beforehand. Whoever enters the buffet and eats 10 to 50 rials without deciding the quantity they will eat is violating Sharia law. And I'm not sure why. I don't know if he knows why.
Yeah.
But these buffets are, a lot of them will probably go out of business because of this. Can you think of why this might be? Is it just gluttony that they're frowning upon? I mean, what's up?
I don't really know, but the thing is, I also am not a big fan of buffets. I must agree with this, not for religious reasons though, just because I just generally, I don't really like the concept. It leads to overeating in order to get your so-called money's worth, which is just an incredible concept when it comes to eating as much as you possibly can. I'm not a fan of buffets, I have to tell you. I mean, in certain situations, you go to events and there's a buffet. You're not really paying to eat as much as you can, right? But the concept of going to a restaurant where you just pay an amount and you eat as much as you can, that I really am not a fan of.
And in some restaurants, that's just what you do. Some restaurants just have a buffet running for most of the day. And like for lunch, as an example, and you just get the buffet because that's just, it's, I don't know, the best idea. You can sample a lot of things. It's, not outrageously expensive, and I don't know. And if the food is good, why not?
Yeah, and at some hotels, I guess I shouldn't be as 100% set on this. I've been to hotels that have a nice breakfast buffet, and it's often like included with your, maybe included or not with your room rate. And you go down there, and you get a couple different things, and that seems to be okay. But the concept of like the dinner buffet where you bring you starve yourself all day and then you try to eat as much as possible, that entire idea to me is like a disgusting idea.
Yeah. And a lot of buffets do have really bad quality food. I mean, I can remember a couple Chinese food buffets that were near us that occasionally some friends of ours would like to go to. And the chicken, I mean, I don't know how it was chicken. It tasted like it was probably roadkill. It didn't taste like any chicken I've ever had in my life. It was some incredibly disgusting food, and you always felt disgusting afterwards, no matter how much you ate.
I think I only went on those once or twice, and it was just so bad that I just decided it's just not for me.
Yeah, really gross stuff. But yeah, all right. If you follow these fatwas, I guess you're gonna go to hell if you eat at an all-you-can-eat buffet. These buffets have been around for a long time. It's incredible that they just came up with this. But anyway, I always get a kick out of these. So that's it.
Well, let's explain that this is the show for Monday the 17th. It is obviously Friday the 14th. We're putting the show up for members today. There's no reason to hold it back. We will be away next week, and then we'll be back on March 24th, Monday. We will resume normal operations and a normal schedule on that day. And that's the plan. So maybe I'll check in during our break and see what's going on. I'll definitely be poking around Reddit and seeing what people are posting, etc. But enjoy the time travel edition. A lot of people get confused, Lewis, when we post shows early. They don't understand. They feel like they're in an alternate universe where it's 3 or 4 days later in some cases. But no, it is not. It is not an accident. It is just a pre-recorded program.
Thank you, David. A little bit of time travel for our members. Great stuff.
The David Pakman Show at davidpakman.com.